single day. I'm captured by your charm, enchanted by your ways.
Good morning. I am back on MIG after a nice vacation away over Thanksgiving. The family went out to Montana to visit my mom, and I saw two of my brothers and my sisters-in-laws, and we had a really great time. It was wonderful. My 5 kids went with, so all 7 of us went out in 2 vehicles over the snowy mountain passes to Montana, and now we're back. And I was thinking this week I wasn't even going to do a story video. I am doing Friday another video on the refit, but I was asked so many questions, and I have been asked so many questions from people everywhere I go about my crazy weight loss. I've lost 50 pounds in the last 3 months, and that is remarkable. It's crazy. I never expected that I would be able to transform so quickly, or if at all. So today I thought I would chat about that. So if you're here for a sailing story, or if you're here because you like watching my refit or my trip around the world, my plan for that, then you might want to just skip this video and come back on Friday. But if you are interested in how this happened, this weight loss, I'm happy to share it. People think I'm always getting this question, what's your secret? And I can't imagine anybody who has struggled with weight their whole lives keeping anything a secret when they discover a way to lose their weight. And so it's no secret, and I do want to share it because it is such a struggle, I think, with so many people. And really, the answer is so simple. So let me begin with my story as far as my weight loss goes, or as my weight gain story goes. When I was young, I was very thin. Obviously, most of us are, but I was probably exceptionally thin. When I was in college and when I got married, I weighed 145 pounds. The wind would blow me away. My metabolism was very high. I could eat anything I wanted, obviously, and it didn't affect me. And when my wife was pregnant with Jimmy, our firstborn son, I started to gain weight. And I didn't gain weight in an alarming way, although I did gain quite a bit. I went from 145 to about 165, which seemed like a big weight gain at the time. And then through my 30s and my 40s, I hovered between 175 and 180 pounds, which was not enough weight that I felt like I was a fat guy, but I did struggle with my metabolism more and with doing the things I wanted to do because my body was slowing down because it was carrying that extra weight. Just so you know, my BMI, my body mass index, is supposed to be at 5'9". I'm supposed to be around 155 pounds. I think that my family's a little bigger boned. I'm not nearly as big boned as some of my brothers, but we're not small people. And I think that's probably a little too light for me. I think I should be around 165 to 170 pounds. During the pandemic, I reached my biggest weight of 256 pounds. And of course, I was miserable. Everything in my body was hurting. My joints all hurt with arthritis. I struggled with just walking up the stairs. And so I reacted by of course, before that, I was trying to lose weight. But at that point, I was like, I have to lose weight. I have to do something. And I tried everything. I tried working out at the gym. I got a gym membership, paid big money for a gym membership, and I went 4 days a week and worked out for an hour to 2 hours a day faithfully. And I worked hard. I changed my diet as much as I thought I could, because there's so much information out there of do this, do that, eat this, don't eat this. But then another diet will say, no, eat that you just weren't eating, and don't eat this, which is what you were eating. And the confusion that not just myself, but probably all of us that struggle with weight go through is partially that there's just so many different things being bombarded into us about what you need to do to lose weight. Work out really hard. Cut your calories. I decided, okay, I'm just going to get extreme here, and I'm going to cut calories. And so I started to count all my calories. I had one of those apps on my phone, and I counted my calories faithfully every day, and I was trying to eat between 1,200 and 1,500 calories a day and work out. And of course, I was miserable. I couldn't stick with it. I was always craving food. Every moment of the day, I was hungry, and I was wanting to eat. And then I would work out, and I would feel even hungrier, of course. And so I couldn't make myself do what I needed to do to lose weight. And I just was frustrated. So I asked my youngest son, Benny, I said, you're the only one in the family that will, I know, hold me accountable. And so I gave him power over my life. It sounds funny. I called it the Benny diet. And basically I told my youngest son, okay, here's the deal. You can tell me what I have to eat. And I gave him the rules, which were I can only eat 1,200 calories a day. I cut out all sugar and I cut out all fat. And I said, the big goal here is to cut my calories. Keep it 1,200 calories or less, and I'll mark it down everything I eat. And at the beginning of that diet, I said, I have to pass everything by you before I eat it. And he was good at this, because he kind of didn't mind chewing me out when I was falling off the wagon, which of course I was. I was hungry all the time. But I did lose 20 pounds within, I don't know, it took probably 3 months of misery, 3 months of him. I even told him, I said, every time I want a donut and I ask you for a donut, you obviously say no. But if I fall off the wagon and I go get a donut or a candy bar, I'll tell you. And I never lied to him. I always told him what I ate. And I said, go ahead, make me feel bad. And so I'd eat a donut and he'd say, Dad, it's okay, you're just a fat ass. Dad, it's all right. It's okay, Chubbs. No problem. Stuff like that. And I did lose that 20 pounds. Well, I couldn't seem to bust below that, no matter what. I would cut my calories even more, and I was miserable, and I seemed to, no matter how much I exercised or struggled. And remember, exercise was a misery. Also, I've been on a blood pressure medicine since I was in my 20s, and my family, high blood pressure runs in our family, heart disease runs in our family, and I was on a statin for my cholesterol, and basically my heart rate, and I didn't tell my family this, but a few months ago, when I was checking my blood pressure, it would also check my pulse rate. My pulse rate was regularly over 100, and that was not working. That was just wandering around doing the normal stuff I was doing. And if you look at the videos from early on, you can tell now the videos I make now from the videos I made then, because in those videos, I was a fat guy making the videos. And I would be huffing and puffing, getting up onto the boat. It was a misery to work on the boat. I did a lot on this boat, but it was a struggle. And I always was thinking, how am I going to sail this boat, this little boat, as big as I am? I could hardly fit in the head. I could fit, but it was very tight, and it would have been very difficult to use the head on this boat as big as I was. I think I've painted the picture of probably many, many, many Americans, and we all struggle with that same thing. And 3 months ago, my brother died, one of my brothers who I was close to when we were young especially. And I went out to Montana and then to Wyoming for his funeral. And he had his own struggles for a long time, and one of them was weight. And I was given some of his clothes that were at my mom's house. And I fit in them perfectly. And I said, this is crazy. I shouldn't be wearing these clothes. I shouldn't be able to wear these clothes of my older brother who was struggling so much with his weight. And my younger brother, who also struggles with weight, but he's a big, big guy. He's a great big guy. He's always been the biggest of us. He had lost 30 pounds in, I don't know, a month or so before I arrived. And I could tell the difference in him when I got there. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm doing keto. And I had heard of keto, and I had tried it before, and it hadn't worked. I had been miserable, constipated, and just, it did not work at all. And I said to him, I said, well, I've tried that. It doesn't work for me. And he said, I know, I've felt that way too. Go on YouTube, and there's a guy on YouTube called Dr. Eric Berg. And it's free. Just check it out and try to do what he says, and I think you'll have results. So, of course, while we were there, I didn't do anything. While we were there, we continued to stop at Burger King and eat burgers, and McDonald's and eat McDonald's. And, of course, at the funeral, there's all kinds of food that didn't matter. And when you're at a funeral, you just don't, those things are not a concern. You need comfort food, and so that's what I did. But when I got home, I turned on Dr. Eric Berg on YouTube. And I'm telling you, there is no secret. There is no secret. I'm not keeping any secrets. He's changed my life. He has changed my whole future, and I believe that now I'll live to be an old man. Before, I think, honestly, with my heart rate the way it was and the history of heart disease in my family, that I had a very short lifespan. I think I probably would have been dead in 5 to 10 years for sure. And so here's a little bit about what I have had to do following Dr. Eric Berg, but you can go on yourself and check it out. First of all, it is keto. It's a ketogenic diet, but it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. I've changed the way I eat permanently. I'll never go back to the way I ate before. And for all of you that are thinking what I was thinking before when my brother mentioned this, oh, it's just eating bacon and meat, and you just eat all that, and you don't eat anything else, and yeah, it's not going to work. It's more than that. I eat more vegetables now than I ever ate in my life. I eat up to 7 cups of vegetables a day. We don't count vegetables at all. You can eat as many vegetables as you want. But what you do watch is what you put on them. Basically, I've cut out carbs and sugar almost completely. All sugar, I've cut it out completely. And carbs, I eat between, right now, 5 and 30 grams of carbs a day. It's almost no carbs. And that's a big, huge change in my diet. And it was difficult. But here's the thing. I couldn't have done it. I could not have done this if I had continued to feel hungry and cravings. But I don't. Because the other big part of this diet and lifestyle is intermittent fasting. I began by cutting my meals to 2 meals a day. I would eat at noon, and then I would eat again at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and keep my meals down in size, and they were all ketogenic meals. No carbs, no sugar. And pretty soon I was able to do 1 meal a day. Dr. Berg and other people that do this call it OMAD, 1 meal a day. And that was no struggle because I was not craving food. I didn't have hunger pains or cravings because my body began to eat the fat that was on it. Autophagy, it's called. And I began to lose weight. A pound a day I was losing. And over the first month, I lost almost 30 of those pounds in a month and a half. It just literally every day it was falling off. And my wife was also doing it. She was trying to lose some weight. And she was struggling because she would see me losing 1 pound a day and feeling good and getting healthy. And she was losing a pound or 2 a week. And that's because she's a woman and she didn't have as much to lose. And that weight loss was amazing. She's now lost 22 pounds. She is also feeling better. But here are some of the results of this. And now, by the way, I'm doing extended fasts when I need to, or when I want to lose a little extra weight now, I can do an extended fast and I don't feel hungry and I don't feel cravings. And I am now healthy again. My metabolism is back up to, I think, about what it used to be when I was in my 20s. I can work on the boat and not feel tired all the time. The other huge thing is I'm no longer on blood pressure medicine. I check my blood pressure 3 times a day, and my blood pressure is now just a little lower than normal all the time. And my pulse rate that used to be over 100 doing nothing is now back in the 50s to 60s all the time. And I'm not on my statin anymore. I take no extra meds anymore. And this diet has been fulfilling and rewarding as well. And I hesitate to call it a diet because I'm no longer on a diet. This is my life now. This is what I eat now. Sure, I miss a Big Mac every once in a while. And we went through a stage there in the first month or so where we would, every couple of weeks, we'd have a cheat day and we would go and eat. And then we would feel so miserable afterwards. My joints would ache. That's the other thing. The inflammation in my body has gone down so that old injuries, that I still have the injury, but there's no inflammation around them anymore. They don't hurt all the time anymore at all. My legs were falling asleep at night. That doesn't happen anymore. My arms would tingle when I fell asleep at night, and they don't anymore. They would fall asleep, and they don't anymore. My goal weight is around 165 to 170, and I'm now at 190, and I know that I can lose that weight now. I know that I can. It's a little more difficult now. It's not falling off, obviously, 1 pound a day anymore. But there's no secret. Dr. Eric Berg on YouTube, and I don't know if he happens to watch this. I'm sure he won't. But if he ever did, I want to offer a great, big, huge thank you for saving my life to him. He has over 2,000 videos, and his videos, the things that he says in them, I can tell you that every single time that I have tried something that he offers as a solution, it's worked for me in every single area. So, no secret. I'm not preaching. I'm not trying to change anybody that doesn't want any change. I'm not preaching Dr. Berg. I'm just telling you what happened to me and how it happened and why. So, if you're struggling, go ahead and have a peek at those. See what he has to say. I can tell you that it worked for me, and I'm not the man I used to be. Actually, I'm a quarter less the man I used to be. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you on Friday for another video. I think I'm gonna do a video on this insert that I made for the boat. It's very cold right now for us here. I've got the heater going on MIG. I'm trying something new in the little Dickinson stove. I put a little sterno can in there, and I'm running the sterno, and we'll see if that works. I don't know if it will or not. It seems like it's a little bit small, but we'll see what happens. I'm still planning on sailing this boat around the world starting this spring. We've got a lot to accomplish, but nothing like what we had before. So she's all doable, and I believe that this March we will be sailing this boat. So thank you so much, and I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and you have a Merry Christmas. Thank you all for watching and continuing to watch and liking my videos. I sure appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Together